As college students, I want you to think about a time where you had to dress for something important, whether it be for an interview, a presentation, a press conference, or for simple weather changes. This is more common than people think or know, and it can really affect someone's daily life by not having the important necessities. Now, this is where Care Closet comes in. Care Closet is an NKU on campus resource that provides free clothes, shoes, and accessories. It's ran by student workers like me and volunteers to help students feel supported and comfortable. So today, I'm going to walk you through how to properly assist a student at Care Closet. To make this process easier, I'm going to break it into 3 steps. Number 1 will be the greetings. Number 2, how to help them select items. And number 3, how to check them out. So for the first step, you're always going to want to greet the student. When a student comes into Care Closet, it is your first thing to greet them with a smile, ask them how they're doing, and maybe if they need any help, assist them with that as well. It is super important to create a very comfortable environment, especially that we're all students. You should never make assumptions as to why somebody is at the Care Closet, and it is very important to not make them feel like they're being judged. I know for some students, coming into Care Closet or another on-campus resource like Fuel can kind of be even embarrassing to them, but it really isn't. To help the student, your tone should be calm and very helpful. For the next part, you want to figure out what the student is looking for. In this kind of situation, it is very important to ask open-minded questions. For example, you could ask the student what they're looking for, whether it's for professional, whether they're just browsing through, or if they're trying to find something specific. Student workers are always there to help. And by asking those questions, it gives them space to confidently answer or to explain their needs with no pressure. Now, depending on their answer from your question, you have to ask the follow-ups, like what's their size, sometimes what's their aesthetic, or if they're shopping for an occasion like an interview or a presentation, like I mentioned before, or even events on campus or outside of campus. The key part after asking the follow-up questions is making that you're not ignoring them and making sure that you're following their every specific detail so that you can have them satisfied by the end of their trip. And I believe that this first step into Care Closet assistance is what shows our sympathy and our empathy for our students who might need shoes, clothes, or accessories. Now for the second part is guiding the students in selecting items. Once you know what they need and what the event or the occasion is for, you want to explain what Care Closet is or how it works. Students that come into Care Closet are welcome to browse through the clothes. We have tops, dresses, business blouses, belts, and all kinds of accessories. And they are more than welcome to pick more than 5 items that works best for them. Sometimes the Care Closet is very lenient on guidelines of how much things you can take, but for us, it is more helpful for them to take how much they need. In the Care Closet, you will have somebody at the front desk who is assisting or is helping you pick items, and you will always have somebody in the back of the house that basically monitors what's happening in the front. When a student is looking through the items, we try our best to stay away from them, making sure that we're not hovering over them or giving them any pressure, because the goal is to help them shop, but to also let them know what they want to find first and ask questions if they have any after. Giving the students some space and they can shop at their own pace as well. But at the same time, you should still be available if they have any questions or need help finding something. We don't suggest being on your phone while the person is trying to shop, because if they have questions and you have your head down, you're not showing attention, they might not want to ask you their question. I think the best thing that Care Closet has to offer is their stylist options. We do have stylist positions to where if somebody needs assistance with an event, an interview, a presentation, we have stylists who are more than welcome and more than happy to pick outfits out for the student that fit their aesthetic and their sizes. But for all workers in general, we try to stay interactive throughout the whole person's process. Overall, the most important thing about this process and this step is balance. You can be helpful as a worker, but still give the student their independence in finding what they need. And for the last and probably the most easiest step is checking out the student. Once the student is finished shopping and picking their items, you must check them out. When the student is all done, they will come with their items on the desk and they will swipe their all card. Once their all card is swiped, all of their info, like student ID, and the previous times that they visited either Care Closet or Fuel will pop up. You will click on New Visit, or if they are a new client, you will simply press New Client. But for this case, we're going to just focus on New Visit. When you press New Visit, it'll ask you if they're care closet shopping and if they have less than 5 items. Majority of the time, students come and they get more than 5 items, but for this case, we're going to do 5 items or less. Once you press that, you will start scanning their items. What really helps the student engagement is make sure that you're being interactive with the student as they're being checked out. Once you scan the barcode, it'll basically show the item and what it's listed as, whether it's a shirt, pants, skirt, blazer, or a blouse. It'll have the size next to it, and Care Closet ranges from extra small to extra, extra large. And then it'll show whether it's feminine or masculine. For Care Closet, students can visit at least twice a week, but no more than that. Once the check-in process is complete, you will end it with a simple "thank you for coming, please come back when you can," or "feel free to come back anytime soon." As I mentioned before, going to places like this for some students might be a little disencouraging or kind of embarrassing depending on how they feel about certain stuff, but this can leave a lasting impression. For every checkout, you always want the student to feel respected and make them feel confident, and as before, not judged, but comfortable enough so they return again. Before I finish up, I want to explain something and discuss something that's very important in any kind of workplace. It is important to watch your attitude and your tone when you are in your working environment, especially on a student campus, because this can possibly affect student engagement or impact someone's experience. Even with all of the steps that I just listed, if you follow them correctly, the way you speak to the student or speak to somebody else can really change how that person has their perspective. For example, a tone of voice really matters. If you sound uninterested, rushed, or distracted, a student might feel that they're possibly being a burden in your own space, even if it isn't your intention to do so. This plays a big role in those nonverbal cues and interpersonal communication. But on the other hand, if you sound calm, patient, or welcoming, it can make that student's experience 10 times better. Another big thing with working is keeping good eye contact. Overall, just body language. As I mentioned before, no phone as a distraction, keeping good eye contact when that person is speaking to you, because these small behaviors show that you're listening and that you actually care for what the student needs. It is also important to not make a lot of assumptions. You never really know somebody's full situation, and it isn't your role or position to question them. In this case, treat every student how you'd want to be treated. And the last thing that I've noticed as I worked for Care Closet for a few months, the smallest interactions matter. To you, it might not mean as much as you're just talking to somebody and having a simple interaction, but helping somebody pick out an outfit, just talking to them could possibly have made their day. This can mean a lot to someone. Being able to help students find clothes for whether it's for class, daily, personal, everyday life can really reduce the stress and the confidence that people might not be able to see. So to wrap things up, we went over 3 simple things: greeting the student, assisting them, and also checking them out. The Care Closet is not just here to give out free clothes, accessories, and shoes, and etc., but it's also here to build a bond for those who might not have the royalties of being able to purchase things with their own money. And it is our mission to make every student that walks through those doors comfortable and respected. Thank you.